A warm welcome to all of you on day 2 of CSS Beginner to Advanced series. And today we will be completing the basics, some basics part, and we'll try to complete CSS Flexbox. So please join fast. थोड़ा lag रहता है. So let me share my screen also. So please join fast. Today we will be covering CSS Basics and CSS Flexbox. So can someone please confirm me that my audio and video is proper or not? I just want someone to confirm. So please confirm fast so that we can start now. So welcome all, and today we will be covering the rest of the CSS Basics part and CSS Flexbox. So I request you all to please join fast and is my audio and video clear to all of you? Please confirm. Can someone please confirm me? Can someone please confirm me that audio video is proper? अरे यार दरवाजा खोल दूं, गर्म हो रहा है बहुत. दरवाजा खोल दूं, गर्म हो रहा है. Yeah, thanks Nivedita. So we'll start after 5 minutes. Let some more people join. So yesterday we have covered the basics of CSS and box model properties, styling of list, styling of form, and float, block. We have covered yesterday, and today we will be covering the CSS Basics again and Flexbox. So the class will be the class duration will be around 1 to 1.5 hours maximum. And tomorrow there will be no class. We will having the next class on Thursday and the last class on Friday. So Thursday we will be trying to complete CSS Grid, and Friday also some part of CSS Grid, and we'll do a project in case we will have the time. So that is the schedule of all the 4 days. And yesterday we have shared the attendance form in the live YouTube chat. Please don't ask again to share the attendance form because we don't have any source to share that. So please fill the form here only. I will be sharing one of the WhatsApp group. 1 second. I will be sharing one of the WhatsApp group link. So that you can join for further updates. There is I request you all to please join the WhatsApp group also, in case those who are not available on the group. Okay, fine. So the WhatsApp group link has been shared. You all are requested to please join the WhatsApp group for further updates. And let us start now. Let me see the time. Okay, 5 minutes has been over now. So let us start now with the CSS basics part, and after that we will be having the Flexbox. So now I will not be able to see the chat section. So 1 second. So now, moving on to the next important property in CSS after alignment and positioning. After alignment, yesterday. So the next important property in CSS is called as a name as the positioning in CSS. As positioning, as the name says, position an item inside or in the web page, inside a box or in the web page. So there are 4 types of positioning. There are 4 ways in which you can position an item. Fine. So the first one is the static, second one is the relative, third one is the absolute, and fourth one is the fixed. Static, absolute, relative, and fixed. Static. Static means element, the normal behavior or the natural behavior refers to as a static. Fine. It's static is very simple. The normal or the natural behavior whatsoever being used is known as the static. So there is no need to define static. It's a normal or the natural behavior. So now for the relative part, let us have a basic structure, and in that say we'll have h1. 1 second. And h2. So in this h1, let's have CSS, and here basics. So now let us create a class inside it, and we'll name the class as position box. Fine. So now let's save it, and here as you all can see, these are the h1 and h2. So now let us copy this class, and here dot, as I told you, class will be identified with the help of dot. Now let us create bit of 800. 1 second. 800 px and height of 500 px, and let's create a border box property of 2 px solid of green color. So a box has been created now. Now we will link both the theoretical and practical part, how to use the absolute and relative. Fine. So now let us have let us target the h1, and we'll have the position as absolute, and from the top absolute, and from the top let us target this 40 px. So what we did, we have targeted this H1 from the top to position 40 px down. So what has happened? CSS comes below the basics. Why? Because we have used the absolute part. Here, this entire page will be taking as a reference. The whole page is taking as a reference, or I can say it is considered as a parent. So now it moves the H1 from the top to 40 px, which comes below the basics part. Now let us use the position as relative, in which we will be targeting this line, this border line, as the parent. Fine. So now see, now this 40 px down is from this line. This line is the parent line. Now let us target dot h2, and here we will be targeting the position absolute, and from the top let us have some more property called as bottom of 60 px. See, now let us use the left property to 40 px. So from left it is shifted 40 px towards the right. So this is how you can use the position absolute and position relative property. Now let us have the last property, which is called as a fixed. So we'll have the button, and in this button the name of the button is button, and let us have a class here. And another class also we have taken, fixed button. So let's save it. So here, as you all can see, this fixed button sticks to the page irrespective of the page size. So now let us use this, and 1 second dot will give the position as fixed, and we will align the space from top to 80 px. So it is overlapping, so we'll have 100 px. Oh, sorry. Or we'll have 120 px. Fine. So now, irrespective of the size of the page, this button will stick here only. So this is what the position fix property will looks like. So now let us have 1 second. Hi, will these videos be able to be viewed later on? Yes, Mr. Taj. With the same recording, with the same YouTube link, you can view the videos later on as per your comfortability. But I request you all to please like the videos, so that it helps the YouTube algorithm to highlight our content to the desired peoples. Fine. So let us have, and participation certificate Participation certificate will be provided to all the candidates who fill all the 4 days attendance forms. Participation certificate will be shared only, sorry, attendance link will only be shared in the YouTube live chat only and nowhere else. So let us move on to the next property, which is called as the background images. In HTML, you have learned how to add images, but here we will be using these tags to fill or place the images properly. So for this, one second, I will be using the unsplash.com web page to download the dummy website. So let us have this also. One second. So fine. Say will be are you downloading it? So let's 1 second. Uh, 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 uh. Here is my CSS folder. No, this is not one. This is my CSS folder, and inside this, I will be creating new folder with the name as images, and inside this, I will be placing. One second. Fine. So as soon as I did this R&D, immediately it starts reflecting here. See, images folder is there and the image is here. Perfect. So now let me go back to the and okay, fine, perfect. So now let us insert this background image here. So now in the index file, we will be using a this is not required. So in this position box, let's have background image, and in the link we will be using URL sharing the path and the first image what we have given and saved it. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, some error is there. So background image URL images, and oh, sorry, I am placing it in a wrong box. Control X. In the main box I will be placing this. Now it is looking, but as you all can see, there is a difference in the image because it is taking only some of the part which is from the top. So now in order to fix that, we will have a property which is called as the background repeat, no repeat, and background size, where is the background size as cover. So this is how, using these two properties, you can fix it. Okay, fine. So now this is how you can actually fix an image inside a box. This is called as the background properties. So now moving on to the next topic in CSS Basics, which is called as the pseudo class properties. Pseudo class properties are an extension in a way we target the classes. So let us have a basic change in our index.html in order to understand the pseudo classes properties. So let me create a unordered list. In this unordered list, let's have a list item and 1 second. I will using a shortcut li into 8. Oh, sorry, li into 5. Due to some issue, shortcut not working, so I will be using the complete form only. So li control C. Now I will be placing the content inside it, but before it I will be having a class in the UL and will have the class name as list. So in this, let me have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I saved it. Okay, fine. One second, some error in the UL part. Now it is fine. Earlier, because this dot is not coming in the one. So now it is set. So now let us use the pseudo class property to target this first or alternate or last or from or the item number fifth or item number second last. So now let us use this, copy the class name and here dot and here let me go directly 1 second dot list li using the nth in the first child concept, and in this we will be targeting the background color to red. Fine. Copying the same and we'll use the last child as green. Fine. Now this is for the first and last. Now we will be targeting any of the child using the nth child concept, and let's target the item number 5 with the background color yellow. And in the same way you can target item number 1 second, let me remove it, copying this thing, control C, control V, item number third with pink color. Fine. So this is how you can target each and every item using this nth child concept. Fine. So now let us use, in case you have some 500 lines code and you want to target you want to place some background color. So using this nth child concept, and in this we have the even and odd function. So let me comment it out, and now dot, sorry, dot list li will have the nth child evenly. We target the background color to orange, and similarly you can target in the odd pattern background color 𝐴𝐞𝐢𝐜𝐴. So this is how it looks. So this is how, using the pseudo class properties, you can target the things. It might be possible that you have some big things, some small things, small codes, large codes, big codes. So you can use such even and odd functions and target the entire set of rows. So here we conclude with the basics part. I can say I just need a one round of check. My audio and video is coming proper or not? Can someone please reply me? Is my audio and video coming proper? Can someone please reply? Is someone here? Can someone tell me my audio and video is coming proper? Okay, Nivedita. Okay. Why I'm checking is because some goof up happened today only. That's why we are doing this check twice or thrice in a class. So now let us have let us start with the Flexbox now. What is a Flexbox? Let us start with Flexbox. But before it, let me do some basic setting. 1 second. And here we will be changing the name Flex, CSS Flex. Saving it. Fine, coming fine. So now, yes sir, fine. Thanks Prashant, thanks Nivedita. So now we will be starting with CSS Flex, and today we will complete the CSS Flex box. And tomorrow we don't have a class. On Thursday we will start with CSS Grid, and on Friday we will be doing some part of Grid, and we'll try to do a project from Frontend Mentor. As you all might have aware of the front end mentor site, from there we will be picking a project and we'll do it. But that all depends on the time. So uh, let me go back to CSS Flexbox. So now what is a Flexbox? Why CSS Flexbox is a property in which you will be able to place the things or place the items or place the content in the web page in one direction only. Depending on your requirements, you can change your main axis and main axis like that. And in earlier when 1995 CSS Grid and HTML was invented, CSS Flexbox was not there. It is being invented in 2015 by the W3 schools, and W3 schools invented both CSS Flexbox and CSS Grid, and a major upgradation has been happened in that year in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So today we will be going through the CSS Flexbox part, and I will try to link both the theoretical and practical part so that you will be able to link both of them. So now CSS Flexbox is basically a display property. As I've told you, it is basically used to align things in the web page or place things or place items. Remember the words align, place, justify. We all be using all these names after some time with the values or with the properties. So now let me have a basic structure here. One second. And so now let us add some CSS here. I will be creating a scenario assuming that you all are looking for an output in the desired manner. So now let us target this class also. So here what I did, one second, what has happened? Fine. So as you all can see, let me go back to index.html. And here, as you all can see, a simple div with two classes in every item. First class is the box, second class is the box one. These every item have the same class. Fine. And all these things are captured in a parent class, which is called as a parent container, which is with the name of the class as container. So we will be targeting this container class now. In the CSS part, we have done a box sizing border box, giving some box properties and individual background colors to all this. So here now let's target the main container in which we have given the display flex and a border has been created here. So now as you all can see here, a border has created and items are placed inside it. Why it happens here? Because the flex direction now will have the one second. Let me have one more property as inline flex. So here, as you see, where the item ends, the border ends. This is the inline flex property, and in the normal flex, it has no relation with the size of the box. So there are two properties in flex. First one is the normal flex and second one is the inline flex. Now let's add height. 1 second. 200 vertical height. VH is the unit of height. So now we have given height as 100 vertical height to all these items what are there in the container. So now let us have the flex correction row. So use the shortcut as FD for flex direction and R for row. So by default, the main axis is from left to right. So as you all can see, as soon as we change the flex direction to column, see what has happened. All the items are stacked top to bottom as the main axis is now from top to bottom. Earlier it is from left to right, now it is from top to bottom. This is how you need to assign the direction here. Now there are two more properties. Okay, we will learn one after the other. So let us have 1 second. Flex wrap property as wrap. Now see what has happened here. In this flex wrap property and dot box will target the width to 300px. So here for all these boxes we have assigned a width of 300px. Fine. So here uh, 1 second, a very important call. So 1 second. So here in the box we have given a width of 300px. This width is 300px wide. So now let us see the response. See, this CSS Grid and CSS Flexbox is very responsive. Depending upon the size of the screen, it aligns themselves. So as soon as this item number 2 gets the width of 300px, it comes by the side of item number 3, and similarly item number 3 comes by the side of item number 2 if it gets the available space as required. Fine. So now let us have let us create okay, one more thing here. If I change this to 33.33%, see what will happen now. Now this will not happen. Why? Because I have fixed the width to 33.33% of the available screen size. So this is how it will not work. Now let us have, or I can say let us create some borders, gaps, what we will call in the grid, solid of white color. So now it looks more nice, more beautiful, as we have created border, and it is looking more decorative and more perfect. So now moving on to the next property of CSS Flexbox, which is called as the Flexbox Ordering. In which Flexbox ordering is a way to move the ordering of your flex item. For this, we will use the flex one. This one we will use. One second. Here, all these things are not required. Saving it, and here also. So we will be like this only. Now, dot box will have the flex as one. Perfect. So now let us change the order. So this order property takes the item to the order of flow and place it as mentioned. Okay. So now I will link this theory to the practical. So dot box C, and we'll change the order to row. So see, this box number 3 now shift after 10. Now let's target dot box 5 order 6. So now this box number 5 is there after the item number 3. So this is how the flex box ordering property will work. A very simple property. Using the order command, you can use it. Now moving on to the next important property in CSS Flexbox, which is called as the alignment and centering. What is this alignment and centering? As the name suggests, guys, you need to link. Alignment means aligning things, placing things. Centering means centering the things, place the things in a center, like that. So for these things to happen, one second, let us one second. Let us have justify content property. Okay, so justify content property will have some values in order to place the content. For this, let us create a border of 5px solid of green color, and now we will be using the justify content property. So now all the items are in the start of the flex, which is actually the by default nature. So now the next is the flex end. So entire content, read the code, justify content. So content means entire content, entire parent container. Entire container will move to the end. So now next is justify content center. So this is how the entire content will shift in the center. space between. Spaces are created. The available space is being distributed between them. The available space. Okay. 1 second. Space around. See, also space. Here also space. Space in the space between. At the end, there was no space. Now space evenly. See, now evenly the spaces has been distributed. Fine. So this is the flex direction. The direction is the main axis. The flex direction is the direction of the main axis. By default, it is row, that is from left to right. Now let's change the flex direction to column here and see how it works. Flex direction column, and will have a minimum height of 100 vertical height. So the output will be like that only. Now let us use the another property called as the uh, and 1 second. Here fine. So flex start. Flex end. Flex center. Fine. Earlier it is moving from left to right. Now it is moving in top to bottom. Space between. These are the values. Space around. And space evenly. Fine. So these are the values in which you will place your items either in a row level or in a column level, but the values are same. The values are flex start, flex end, stretch, space around, space between, space evenly. So now let us have the second property in this alignment and centering, which is called as the align item property. Here we will be targeting a single item here, not the entire content. So just have the second attendance sheet has been shared here, and I request you all to please fill it right now. I will wait for 1 minute or 2 minutes. So please fill the attendance sheet right now, right here, and confirm me and confirm here in the group. Please fill here only. Please fill attendance form right here, because after the session, some of them will say I watched the complete session but didn't fill it. So please fill right here. Now we will start again after 1 minute. Okay, so I hope you all have filled the link. You all have filled the attendance sheet. Can someone confirm, please? So let us move ahead now. So now we will be targeting the use. We will be targeting a single item now. So now for this, let us have border only of 5 x solid of green color, and have height 200 vertical height. So now let us use the property as start. So entire content shift toward the start, and center. So these are the properties of using the align items. Stretch, space between space evenly will not work here. So now let us have a one more very important property, in which we will be placing all the items in a common baseline. So here, mm, 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 1 second. So now, as you all can see, just focus on my cursor. Item number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till 10 have a common base. See, the baseline of all these items are common. So this is how you will place things where you want the items to be placed on a common base irrespective of their shapes, size. This type of structure mostly you will find it in the apparels page, groceries page, where items come one after the another in a particular manner, having the baseline of all the items as same. So moving on to the next property here, in which we will be covering the align content property. So it basically aligns items across the cross axis with across the cross axis when there are extra space available. So now let me okay, fine, and here this is not required now. Fine. So here what we did, as simple what we did earlier, simple, different box has a different color. Fine. And here in this simple parent container dot container, we have a flex property. Now now we will be using this property in such a way, we'll show you now. Hello, flux wrap. See, now see the responsiveness. Why it is not happening? Because we have given the width to 33.33%. It actually sticks to the web page. Now let's start with the align content property as flex start. Entire content have shift towards the start. Now flex end. See, in the end, center, in the center. Next is the space between. Values are almost same for all the items. Space evenly. Space around. These are the values of align content. These are the 7 values of align content. Similarly, what we have learned in justify content. Now we will have the properties for self. Now here what we have learned, we have shift the entire items, the entire content in top to bottom, left to right, with all the values of start and space around, space between, space evenly, center. Fine. So now we will have a property in which we will be aligning individual, or I can say you can overwrite the current properties what we have given to these all items. I will show you how so that you will be able to understand these things properly. So let me see. Okay, fine. So here we will have so what I did here, as you all can see, I have changed the size of item number 2, item number 6 and item number 9. How? Using the padding bottom property. Now we will be aligning individually. See, so using the align self property, we shift this item in the end, and here also align self property on the center, and this also the item number 9 you can also in the where, let's try space around. No, it will not take space around, space evenly, no space between, no. So we will have to use in the center also only. So this is how the align self property will work. Now we will see the flex item property. Flex, this is actually a shorthand for flex grow, flex shrink, and flex basis combined. Now for this I need to change my content in the HTML. So here, as you all can see, we have now inserted emojis also, and here. Fine. Now, fine. Now, let us have. Let me remove all these things. Now, let us do the designing part now. Now here, dot box will have the flex as 1. Fine. Now let's target the another box. Dot box to flex as 2, and again let us have one second, let me use these first 2 items only for these things. So here we will have for the dot box 2 have 1, 1 and 0. This is for the flex shrink, flex grow, and flex basis. This is a shorthand flex grow, flex shrink, and flex basis, which is a shortcut. Either you can use the complete thing. I will show you how. Or you can use in the simple form. So now let's have flex grow Flex grow. Now see. Fine. Now let us add flex shrink. Flex shrink, and here also flex shrink. Fine. And now the last one is flex basis, which we have already added. So here the Flexbox has completed, and yes, fine. Thanks, Prakash and Nivedita. You have filled the form. So tomorrow there will be no class, and on Thursday we will start with CSS Grid. So see you tomorrow. Oh, sorry, not tomorrow. On Thursday. Bye bye.